page 3, number 26. On this problem, they're giving us the function d equals 99,397 and 2/10 times the square root of h, which in this problem d is the distance that you can see standing from the top of a building. Again, please make sure that you identify what you know you're talking about, and that is h feet tall. So in this case, we are given that the height of the building is 900, so that means h equals 900. And I'm just going to plug it in. So distance is equal to 9,397.2 times the square root of 900. And when you plug that into your calculator, you're going to get that you can see 281,916 feet from the top of that 900-foot building. You're going to plug in again here, so distance is equal to 9,397.2 times the square root of 555. So therefore, your distance is about 221,383.353 feet. For the next ones, you are just going to plug in again. For this one, you're going to get about 11.314 feet per second. And plugging into the formula for velocity in letter B, you're going to get about, and both of these are about, approximations because you round. So the little squiggly is about 226.27 feet per second. Okay, moving on to the graphs. The first one you have is a square root function, the second one you have is a cube root function. So for the first graph, you're going to want to plug the equation in your calculator and look at your table of values to get some integer values for x and y. So 3, -1, 4, -2, and 7, -3 are all on this graph. So you're going to go ahead and plot those. 3, -1, 4, -2, and 7, -3. And then if you press graph, your graph's going to look something like that. H and k taken directly from the square root function are going to give you 3, -1, which tells you that this is translated or moved, you can say moved, 3 units right, 1 unit down, and it is going to be reflected. It is or it's going to be flipped. Sorry, not reflected. It's going to be flipped, going the other direction to a decreasing function, or you can just say dilated by a factor of -1. And that again is taken straight from that -1 right here. So it's taken from right there. That's your dilation. Okay. Your domain, again, domain is looking from values from left to right. I'm going to erase that arrow that I drew. Okay. Your domain is again looking back and forth on the graph. You're looking from side to side for the x values. Notice that you don't get any functions until you get to this point on your graph. And that is the value of 3 on the x-axis. So again, you want to include 3, and it's everything to infinity. For your range, you look up and down on the graph, and if you look up and down on the graph, you will notice that you do not hit any functions or any values until you get to -1, and then it's going to keep decreasing. So therefore, it is from -infinity, because it decreases all the way down to -infinity, up to -1 inclusive. Again, you want to plug the function into your calculator to get your table of values for x and y. -1, 1, 0, 3, 1, and 5. So -1, 1, 0, 3, and 1, 5. If you hit graph to see what it looks like, your graph is going to look something like this with some fractional values. And your h and k are going to take in directly. There's nothing under the radical with the x, so therefore it's just 0 for h, and it's +3, so your 3 is going to be on the outside. That means that this is translated 3 units down, and the dilation is taken from 4, so it is dilated by a factor of 2. Domain, all real numbers. Range, all real numbers. So from negative infinity to infinity, and from negative infinity to infinity. That is because this is a cube root function, and we know that this is going to keep going left, and this is going to keep going right, and then we know this is going to keep increasing, and this is going to keep decreasing. So therefore, your domain and range are both all real numbers. Okay? If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Conway. Other than that, good luck on studying and your quiz tomorrow.